Hello, my name is Emmett Brogan and this is my CA1 Networking project. It's a multi-threaded web server and this is the folder where it's stored. This is basically just to show where the log file will be generated after I've run the code. So I'll get to that now. This is my main app. This is how I'm just running the project. So I'm setting up a web server / load balancer here. So I'll jump into that code now. So I'm setting up an array list here of ports to go to the servers after redirecting. Likewise here with the addresses to get a handle on each file. So I'm setting up a server socket here, which is the listening socket. This is always listening on port 1234, so the client requests will come in on that port and then they'll be sent off to separate servers. So this is where I'm setting up the servers with distinct ports as I'm getting from there, and I'm starting a thread for each one once the file is run. So I'll go into that code now. Basically, this is just a constructor for each server to handle client requests once redirecting has occurred. So yeah, each server takes a port, so run, set up a new server socket for each one. So basically it's like the server socket with the port 1234, except now after redirecting occurs, it's going to push it out onto that server with the distinct port. So just going there, listing now on, yeah. So process HTTP server requests in an infinite loop. So basically this is the code you gave us. Well, similar. I've made a few modifications, but this is basically leading towards after redirecting occurs. But when the client comes in, it's going to come in on port 1234. So it's requesting it on that one, but the redirecting will, push it away onto a different port. So I want to kind of start off talking about it once it comes in on the listening port side. So I'll just go into it now. So yeah, this is really the same code that you supplied to us. So you have your HTTP request constructor. It takes a socket, and the run method here essentially leads into the process request method here, which handles everything really for the HTTP request. So get a reference to the socket's input and output streams. So set up an input stream filters. This is basically to get a handle on the request. So get the request line using the buffered reader here. So read line. And then extract the file name from the request line using string tokenizer. So yeah, we get add tokens.get next token. Oh, sorry, next token. String file name tokens.next token. Just printing the file out here just to make sure it's getting the right one. So the pre-append here, so the file request is within the current directory. That's what the dot is used for. So open the requested file using a file input stream here. So a boolean here if the file exists. Basically, if there's something there, get it. So yeah, just write it a try catch. So yep. This here is debug information for private use. This basically is just all the stuff coming in here. When I run the file, all the jumbled stuff that comes up there, that's basically that. But we construct the response message here, so the status line, the content type line, and the entity body. This is where I was talking about the way I want to talk about the HTTP request coming in on port 1234. Yes, it's going to come in on this, so this basically means we have something, but I'll be getting into it again when I talk about the redirecting. Some of this stuff here will change so it can go out onto another server on a different port. So yep, that's just the file exists. Yeah, okay, it's there. Else it's not found. Print this stuff here on the page. So yeah, write the byte, send the status line, send the content type line, and send the entity body here. So use the file input stream and the output stream and close it. So this send bytes method here. I'm just going to skip over the log file for a second. Yeah, it's basically just constructing a 1 kilobyte buffer to hold the bytes on the way to the socket. So we're basically just sending the information on to the socket. So copy request file into the socket's output stream. Yeah. So I'll skip that again. The content type. So if the file name ends with HTML or HTML, return text HTML. So this is basically, what's in the actual request. So it could be images, a GIF, an MP4, whatever. So, and it just returns that stuff there. So I may as well just talk about the log file here. So I'm just creating a calendar here for when it's created. So as you can see, the real time down here, somewhere around there, could be a minute or two later by the time I run it. So this init address IP is getting the localhost IP address, and the string client IP is the IP to string. I've had problems trying to run these down here, which is why I've set this up here to try and get at that C client IP there, because I was just getting 00001 or something like that. So yeah, and the host there, that's for the basically your 127.0.0.1. Oh, sorry, timestamp here as well. So that's the time it took, to download in nanoseconds. And the client, so basically that's going to be me again, really, because I'm running it from my machine, and the request of the file name as well. So I'll jump back into servers. No, hang on, sorry. Jump back here. Right, so, but this is where redirecting is occurring. So this is basically how I'm doing load balancing. I'm unsure if this is probably the correct way to do it. So I just went ahead with it anyway for this project anyway. So yeah, so our listen socket accepts the connection, set up our input streams and our data output streams. This is essentially the same code from HTTP request. So where is it? Yep, there they are there. So that's our socket. So we're using that listen socket, so from up there. So come in on that port. Now, I've had problems though with this. And my main problem was the request line here and the string tokenizer. This was the same code that was supplied to get a handle on the file name. But for some reason, and I don't know why, it's not working here. So for when I want to redirect onto a new port. Now how I'm just redirected out onto a new port is just randomize, so it'll just jump out onto either port 1235, 1236, 1237. So just randomize between those three ports. But I can't get a handle on the file name, which means basically when you type in small, say you want to look up the small file, so HTTP 134 localhost whatever small.html. If I uncomment this and put this code in and basically replace address here with file name, it won't redirect to it. It'll just crash and break down. How I'm getting over it though, and I know it's not the right way, I'm using I'm just randomly going around the addresses here from the address list. So up here from small, medium, and large. This is why I'm using this array list. So it'll just bounce around until it gets one of them, and it'll shoot you off to that one on that port. Why I'm doing that, I know it's wrong, but it's to show that it is getting redirected to a new port after it comes in on port 1234. However, as I've stated, this code here is not working, which should, well, I thought it would, give me back the file name so I could go on to that file. I'll run the code anyway and show you how the problem is occurring. So yeah, same stuff really, write byte, status line, the content type, all that. I don't think one last thing here. No, sorry. Back in the servers. Yes, the HTTP request. So basically, yeah, after all that, yeah, construct an object to process the HTTP request message. Yeah. So yeah, each one is passed in. So a request for each, it's basically for each client, give it a socket, and start a thread for each request. So this is after the redirect as well. So I'll just go in and run the code. Sorry. So run it there. Whoops. So it's listening there on those ports. So I'll go in now. Good up. Right, there's one. Now, basically, if you're a little confused what I was saying earlier about the whole, it goes in on 1234 and it'll come out on a different port, yes, but the file name will not be the same. I'm basically looking up the small one. It'll probably redirect me to medium or large. It could even redirect me to small, but it's randomized, so it's not really properly done. So just run it there. Well, it's redirected me to small, but you know, if I run it again, oh, but hang on, it's come in on a different port. So it's come in on 1234, and it's come out on 1237. So it's just come out on that port for that server. But if I say look it up again, you see, it's just giving me a random page each time. I know it's wrong to do it, but I only included it in just to show that it is coming out on different. It's coming in on 1234 and it's coming out on a different port each time. So that was 1237 and that was 1235. You may have noticed this is flashing a bit. That's because I've set it to refresh after every 2 seconds. That's for generating traffic. So if I go in here, I'm using a little bit of JavaScript here, using this tag here just to get that going. So it's in each one of them. So basically that's really the project. I'll just go in now and check the log file. So yeah, there they are coming in. That's the real time download. So it's gone over a minute. That's because of me waffling on. So yeah, that's the model there coming in 1237 there, the port, and you have your timestamp. The time it comes in nanoseconds. You have your web server, the address, and all that basically. So yep, that's my project. It might not be working correctly, but basically I just couldn't get over that the problem here of this for redirecting it out. So yep, that's it.